Hello everyone, and welcome to a special video where today I will take you through a game vital to many of our childhoods, Wii Sports Resort. In this game lies an overflowing vault of history, nostalgia, lore, and questions that have yet to be answered. Wii Sports Resort was a game created for the Nintendo Wii back in 2009. It takes place on an island aptly named Wuhu Island, where the player or players can experience a number of mini-games. This island created a haven for its players. As the game boomed in popularity, so did this oasis. But, as we've had over a decade to ponder over how this environment Nintendo created makes us feel the way we do, that only unlocked more questions. Why have we chosen to glorify this game and this place? Where does this island play a role in terms of the greater lore scheme? And will Wuhu Island ever come back in a future Nintendo game? Today we're going to ask all of these questions and more, trying to delve deeper into this beautifully created island civilization, and maybe even answer some of those questions. Before we can dive straight into theorizing, we must look at the history of the game and the island itself. Prior to Wii Sports Resort coming out, in the 2007 Wii Fit game, an early version of the island, named Wii Fit Island, was where the game took place. I had to dig out the informational guide from the Wii Fit disc box to find the map of this early island. Many landmarks and features that are on the final version of Wuhu Island do not appear on this map. Yet this was still the foundation of our favorite game to come. Even before its appearance in Wii Fit, there was an even less detailed version of the island in a demo of Wii Sports in 2006, specifically in a game called Airplane. This particular game was similar to Pilot Wings, as the player flew through hoops. Jumping back to the main game at hand, Wii Sports Resort is lush with a rich history of its own. This almost flawlessly made island is home to many Miis and many forms of wildlife. The capital of Wuhu Island is Wuhu Town, which is located on the southern side of the island. Taking a look over the landscape, you begin to notice that there are ruins located in multiple places. To the north, there are ruins that signal there may have been a battle here in the past, and a fully fledged civilization. The quote, mysterious ruins, as they're called in the flyover game, seem to have been built by people, or Miis rather, that were well versed in building with stone. We can guess that the ruins have been standing for thousands of years. On the ruins themselves, there are scriptures that show clues of a possible game called Zulu that may have been played just using a ball. From these ruins, there are tunnels carved out of the island leading to Maka Wuhu volcano, as well as underwater caverns. Also, the Maka Wuhu volcano is in fact semi-active, and not concerning or anything. Heading over to the Summerstone Castle, the architecture is vastly different from that of the ruins to the north. It is possible that this was built by a different ancient civilization or built by Miis. The line between whether Miis or an ancient civilization's people or humans created these structures is up for debate. Moving towards the most updated part of the island, Wuhu Town, there is more infrastructure that is built from iron. For example, Red Iron Bridge and the Candle, which is the island's lighthouse. There has been a clear progression of improving society throughout the history of Wuhu Island. From all this architecture, we can draw some possible conclusions about the Miis that live there. We can tell that this was a peaceful society, but that they are, in fact, trained in combat, shown by the swordplay and archery activities. Currently, we can estimate that there are just under 1,000 Miis living on Wuhu Island. Just to touch on the main regions of the island, there's the beach area, where Camel Rock is located, the frontal mountain base area, which is where the Wuhu Town is presently located. The mountain area is home to the Summerstone Castle, Summerstone Falls, and Duckling Lake. The ruins mentioned earlier are in the North Ocean and Rear Mountain Base areas. The Southern Ocean area is adorned with the Candle Lighthouse and Pirate's Eye rock structure. Hopefully that helps categorize the island a bit more. On an island such as this, there exists many forms of transportation, and we see most of these in respective games. There are planes, boats, motorboats, electric cars, blimps, hot air balloons, and cruise ships. The main one being the Queen Peach, named after, you guessed it, Princess Peach. Moving to life on the island, I hope you would assume there are in fact animals on Wuhu Island. There are your classic domesticated animals, cats, dogs, and sheep, but there is also a wide variety of wildlife. Many species of bird make the island their home, such as seagulls, hawks, eagles, ducks, and owls. We get inklings of coyotes and deer, as well as lizards, turtles, whales, and dolphins. Finally, of course, there are many tropical fish. This helps to further the idea that the island is, in and of itself, an ecosystem. In addition to Wuhu Island, the next largest island nearby is called Wedge Island. This is where the first 9 holes from the Wii Sports Golf are based. The other golf and frisbee games are also hosted here. There is a 19th hole hotel and Camel Rock that make up 2 distinct landmarks. I'd just like to note that I've made the trip in the flyover minigame and it takes forever to get here. Anyone else with this experience, I'm sure, can agree. Before we continue, I would like to take a step back and admire the insane civilization that Nintendo created for us to enjoy. This island is particularly detailed and well thought out. I feel much credit is due to those who created this little world for us all. Now please watch this very cool and thematic 10-second time-lapse of the island that I made. Enjoy! Now that we're back from watching that amazing and extraordinary time-lapse, let's move on from the history and world creation and into some of the aspects that make this game what it really is. I would like to briefly touch on each game and its place in Wii Sports Resort. Starting with swordplay, there's a single-player mode called Showdown where you can fight with other Miis and try to defeat them all. There are also two-player modes where you can go head-to-head with someone else. Archery is another combat-like game requiring precision and the use of a nunchuck. It's these games that lead to the conclusion that Miis are trained for combat if need be. I don't know what war or conflict would occur here, but you never know. Frisbee and disc golf are offered in addition to golf as a fun alternative. Table tennis, basketball, and bowling are all in Wuhu Town as well. With power cruising, wakeboarding, and canoeing, you can explore different bodies of water on and around the island, and you can collect the ducklings in Summerstone Pond, a worthy activity if you ask me. Finally, the last game is air sports, but more specifically island flyover. This game is particularly important for someone like me who, in addition to playing the games for fun, would like to find more around the island. This is the only game mode in which the player has control over exploring the island and choosing where to go. It's this game where we can find a number of clues about the island and its origins. Overall, the assortment of games helps expand from Wii Sports and creates a totally new environment. Shifting gears, we all know and love how iconic Nintendo's music is. Wii Sports is home to many iconic tracks, but Wii Sports Resort, while not entirely overlooked, can be put to the side compared to other Nintendo games. The music created for Wii Sports Resort had a more specific job to accomplish. In addition to attracting all audiences through exciting music, these tracks had to work on world building as well. While most people definitely pay attention to the title screen's music, the other songs help to immerse the player into the world, which is why I think Nintendo overall has a draw on the generation it raised. Zooming out from Wii Sports Resort for a moment, Wuhu Island has been seen in other games since the original game's release. As mentioned toward the beginning, the island appears in Wii Fit and Wii Fit Plus and Wii Fit U as well. All of these games take place on what we now know as Wuhu Island. In Pilot Wings Resort on the 3DS, the island is the main location here too. In the Mario franchise, there are courses in Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe that are on Wuhu Island, as well as in Super Smash Bros. The choice to include the island in these games shows that Nintendo didn't want to leave it behind just yet. While other games world build as well, Wii Sports Resort just doesn't resemble anything done like this before. While open world games with infinite or extremely large maps are fun to explore, Nintendo found a way to squeeze as much history, lore, and cohesive environment into a relatively small place that feels large to explore. Letting the player not be overly frustrated over finding details, although we know Matt is the most frustrating of all, the player can naturally explore the space given to them. The creator of the game, and really almost all Nintendo games, Shigeru Miyamoto, said that he had this idea for Wuhu Island brewing for about a decade, wanting to make it a notable franchise. He also mentioned that it could basically become its own character, and that it would generate familiarity. Now, not to immediately prove him right, but I have to admit this island is basically living and breathing. All of the characteristics I've talked about are a long-winded way of essentially explaining that concept. There's a reason we're still somehow connected to this place. I would like to believe that it's more than an idealistic lifestyle that draws us to Wuhu Island. It's so complex that there are too many factors that play into why we choose to remember and revisit this place. I'm sure many of us idolize how we felt at the time when playing Wii Sports Resort. It was many of our childhoods. We had no responsibilities. We were just able to escape into this world with really no other concerns. Since it already makes such an ideal way to live life, we ourselves felt that as well. And now, looking back about 14 years, we want that ease and escape in our lives now. It's similar to the effect that Animal Crossing New Horizons had when COVID hit. While comparatively in the world, looking back at our childhoods is most likely more pleasant than looking back at a time of lockdown, that same escapism is present. We have unconsciously chosen to glorify this world as a place of peace, excitement, and sanctuary. Wii Fit and Wii Sports do the same thing, just at a smaller level. We would like to live vicariously through things if the opportunity is ideal and presented to us, and Miis are just that. Now, could Wuhu Island come back in a future game? I think it most definitely could. Nintendo, while a brilliant company, does have the reputation to release copies of the same game on different consoles, or include similar games and gameplay into their newer games. Basically, they hit the jackpot once and want to over and over again. With this game's success, I believe they would have reason to go back to their roots. The release of the Switch sports game did crash and burn a bit, and I believe it did so because it didn't create the same detailed environment. It was just a game on surface level. There was a balance between freedom versus control in the original game. It gave the player choices, just enough, but not too many, while adding an elusive storyline on top. Now, honing in on Nintendo's game-making techniques, they created this main canonical location that the company wants us to revisit. They wouldn't have put it in other games for no reason. Speaking of those other games, why did they choose to put this world into Mario games and Mario Easter eggs into the Wii Sports Resort world? While understanding the popularity of Mario, they could have chosen to make the island a very independent story, but this connection must mean something. Is Mario a canonical part of Wuhu Island, or is it the other way around? Because we know that the ruins on the island indicate that it has been there for thousands of years. So that must mean Mario somehow originated and spread from there. The music can be heard when flying over the hillside cabins, and there are clues of the Mario franchise, like 8-bit characters littered throughout Wuhu Island, and even clued on the Wii Fit map of the island. So, we can credit Wuhu Island with the creation and beginnings of the Mario story, if their island history truly does go back that far. While on this topic, the main cruise liner is named the Queen Peach, as mentioned before. This could mean that while naming conventions for boats can often include Queen, they can also include Princess, so why wasn't it named as such? I believe this is because Princess Peach may no longer be a princess in this world. Depending on how far into the creation of Mario the Miis on Wuhu Island are, they may know more about Peach in the future than we currently do. There's a missing story arc that may eventually be filled, confirming Princess Peach somehow became queen. But who knows? This is just a theory. With all of this information to digest, I can come to a confident conclusion that this game is truly more than just a game, and Nintendo created it that way. From making a world that many can agree is ideal to exist in, to making us question the origins of Mario's story, Wuhu Island and Wii Sports Resort have created a very unique experience that is accessible to so many people. It helps find the balance between what gamers want and what they need. Its spread over other games and hopeful inclusion in the future leave us hoping for more. And while appreciating the experience engineered for us, it still leaves us wanting more. I could go on and on about how this game has impacted me personally and how it's formed the lives of many in my generation, but we must wrap this up at some point. So, I'll leave you with this. What has this game been for you? And do you think something so elaborate and precise can be created again? Now, before I send you off, one reason I made this video was to bring this world out of Nintendo and into Minecraft. I'm picking up an old survival series where I'm trying to make Wuhu Island in Minecraft. The first rebooted episode is coming soon, and I've been working hard to make this happen, so please join me. Thank you so much for watching and staying with me through this insane analysis. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you again, and see you in the next video. Bye!